Day 2 of the Red Bull X-Alps, and all the action right now is happening up there. That is the summit of the Goldeck Peak. A little earlier, about 20 minutes ago, a certain person by the name of Triglav from Switzerland took off in hot pursuit of Thomas Coquinaire. But it doesn't end there, because Nelson de Freeman from France, we learn, has just crossed the valley, taking advantage of a north wind, and is in second place. So it's a huge change from how it started off this morning, where it began as a story of the guys who took a lead lenser night pass, and that was Gavin McClurg, Sebastian Huber, and also Thomas Coquinaire. Now, Thomas, a lot of people refer to him as this incredible running man, and we haven't really seen the running man in the last two editions of the Red Bull X-Alps in 2013 and 2015, because the weather's just been so good, it's always favoured the flyers. But this year, he really showed why he has this incredible fan base. He ran basically non-stop for 30 hours. I mean, I stopped counting after 24 hours, but at 24 hours, he had covered 170 kilometers non-stop from Salzburg via turn point 1 of the Geisberg, all the way south, up and over the Hohertauern Mountains, the main chain of the Alps, and down the Malta Valley, ending up in Gmünd. And then he basically hiked up the Goldeck in a couple of hours, and Thomas just showing exactly his style of racing. He's there, he's tough, grinding away. Kriegel Maurer, on the other hand, a little bit more strategic. Now, he took a different line heading south. He took a valley to the west, one valley west to the one that Coquinaire and most of the other athletes were taking this morning. That's the Badgestein Valley system. Now, at the time, you might think, why is he doing that? But I was talking to the editor of Cross Country magazine earlier, and he was explaining it to me that, you know, one of the reasons pilots love watching Kriegel is he does stuff that you think only afterwards, wow, that was amazing. Only in hindsight do you see that was a genius move. And what Kriegel was doing is, you could see now in hindsight, looking back, he was taking advantage of these northwesterly winds. Or rather, he was flying in an area where he wasn't getting hammered by them. Because in the main pass that most of the athletes were getting down to, it wasn't possible to fly from the summit. I spoke to Sebastian Huber at the bottom. He was getting a massage from his team physio, and he said it just simply wasn't possible to fly. It was too windy. He now is in the worst place an athlete could hope to be on any day of the race, which is stuck in the valley, looking up and watching other athletes flying past you. So Kriegel, to go back to Kriegel, he went further to the west. He took advantage of this probably lighter winds there, and also northwesterly winds were helping him along. And suddenly, there he is. You know, he started, because of the staggered start, he missed the prologue, so he started an hour after the last athlete left. And then suddenly he's flown himself into, at one point, second position, and he's now back in third, which is the place that he likes. So I think the next time Kriegel tells me that he's only in it for the adventure, only in it just to enjoy himself this year, I think we can all take that with a pinch of salt. He is one competitive, strong athlete. Now, the other story today is the Frenchman. We've had Gaspard Petiot and Nelson de Freeman, who also took to the air. Gaspard, he was not enjoying all this hiking. His knees weren't great at the Leatherman prologue. He could be seen, he was actually, I believe, in last place at one point. He was taking it very slowly. His knees are not enjoying it. Just going to cover from the wind a little bit here. If, by the way, you were watching this morning, apologies for the poor broadcast. It's always a challenge in some of these valleys to get good reception, especially when these big valley winds come down. It can ruin the the broadcast quality. So to go back to Gaspard, he's one of several athletes now battling bad knees. He's happy, obviously, because he's in the air. Gavin McClurg is someone else who is got bad knees. He doesn't enjoy going downhill. In fact, he said after going down the Geisberg, I don't do downhill. Americans, remember tomorrow, it's the 4th of July, and those guys, Gavin McClurg and Jesse Williams, will be duking it out. They were at one point, both of them vying for third place, and were just a couple of kilometers apart. They've now taken different lines. Gavin is hiked up in the hope for flying. Jesse, on the other hand, is staying down. He spoke to one of my colleagues in the head office earlier and explained that, flying conditions are marginal at the moment. So it's a call of his to stay safe. He's not happy flying in these strong winds. And the winds, they must have been gusting about sort of 40, 50 kilometers an hour in places. Just to give you an idea, I put the washing out on the van and it was basically in horizontal position. And that was just in the valley. To go back to the knees, the big knee story today is Aaron Duragati. He was gone from, he won the Leatherman Prologue, and very, very strong athlete, but he's suffering from seriously hurting knee at the moment. We spoke to his supporter and is saying that he's actually struggling to walk. It's that painful. They're optimistic they can get to the air, and in fact he did take off earlier and has put in a good afternoon flight, so it'll be interesting to see whether he can keep that up. But it puts a lot of pressure on an athlete if they can only do well in the air. This is a race that favours adventurers who could both as capable in the air as they are on the ground. So what a day, and the best part of it is it's still ongoing. Head over to redbullxalps.com onto live tracking. You can follow the unfolding action as it happens, and it's changing by the minute. So thank you very much. And last thing before you go, the forecast from Morecast is that the conditions are looking set to improve in the south. So flying is going to get better as the athletes head south, which, as you'll know, is a mixed blessing because they'll get further south and then they'll need to come north again. So everything's still to play for. Tune in again tomorrow morning and have fun watching all the action unfold on redbullxalps.com live tracking.